So I want to continue down the kind of this thing about leaders and the roles. You said we don't really have roles. You said we should be.
Yeah.
But being a leader means that you have some level of responsibility. Can you run through what is a leader's responsibility?
I think there's this big conversation about management and leadership, and sort of management is about the task and leadership is about the people. I think it's a blend. And depending on the role you have, how much of it is got a leaning towards the management and how much of it's got a leaning towards the leadership. So I think, yes, in a role you have responsibilities, but the more senior you get in terms of a hierarchical leadership role, you become less hands on, less focused on the task, and far more focused on the people who are then responsible for the task. And so the responsibility you have is to support and encourage and develop and challenge your people so that they build their capability and accountability for the tasks that need to be delivered. And so I think as a leader, the role is about really having focus on your people and
Mm.
and helping your people to tap into their own potential, because we're all trying to deliver the same outcome. We have an agenda that is shared across an organization. And so the leader's responsibility is to really create that environment where other people can really contribute using their strengths and their great knowledge, can contribute to the delivery of the outcome. My dad used to say to me that performance equals potential minus interference. And so it's the leader's job to get rid of the interference,
Okay.
because
Make
then performance equals potential.
okay because they're okay. So kind of like you have to get out the way, let them do the job, get out the way to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. But also remove the obstacles, optimize the environment, and make sure that they've got all the right equipment, whether that's actual physical, technical equipment, or whether it's the skills that they need, the knowledge that they need. That they've got access to the right kind of resources, that they've got the right kind of information that they need to be successful. So, as a leader, I think that's our job, to bring out the best in all of our people so that they can contribute in the best way possible to whatever it is that we're trying to do.
So what you're saying aligns with a lot of different thinking that the job of a leader, if I was to rephrase it, is to develop your people. That's your responsibility.
I think that's one of the big responsibilities. Of course, you have a responsibility to, for example, shareholders or customers or end customers and all of those things. But to be able to deliver on all of those responsibilities, clearly leaders have a responsibility for their people and how they grow and support them so that they are capable and
Okay.
equipped to deliver all of those other responsibilities.
Talk a little bit more, if you will, about this idea of as you move up in your leadership, move up the scale, you end up doing less of the job. It kind of sound like you're saying you're not so much task or working in Excel spreadsheets.
Yes.
Should you be knowing these things? Should
It's an interesting one, isn't it? It's that whole balance of how much information do I need to know versus information overload. Because if I know everything about everything, why would I have a team of people who are working for me? Because apparently I'm trying to do it all myself. I think, um, when you're in the team and you have some subject matter expertise or domain knowledge, you become an expert to some degree in your area. And for what I see is that leaders, as they progress, they take that domain expertise with them, and often they lean on that in their leadership rather than developing some of their other skills around that people leadership and development and decision making and critical thinking and all of those strategic elements that we need. But I feel, of course, as leaders progress, they become further away from the detail of the day-to-day activity, and to try to insert and immerse themselves in there, it's almost an impossible task, because
mm,
their portfolio gets broader as well, because their scope of operations, as you progress up the leadership ladder, if you like, becomes bigger. So to try to be the expert in everything is just creating this almost impossible burden, in addition to which, you have all of these people who are experts in your team. Watch them. So, yes, you do need to be able to have some understanding of your portfolio, of course, but you have experts to make recommendations and inform you and brief you and do all of those things. So, don't try to do their job. Let them do their job, but be very clear about what your expectations are of what you
ah,
need from them.
okay.
And I think that's what the gap, often becomes is that leaders don't feel like they can trust their people to do that detail or to complete that activity because they haven't set and agreed clear expectations. This is when you'll escalate something to me because I really need to know it. This is how much information I need from you on a regular basis. So I feel like I'm informed and I feel I have a sense of how this particular project or activity is progressing. And I don't need to get into the detail because you've given me what I need to feel confident that you are getting the job done. So I think often when there's a gap, but for me, leaders do need to let go of being the expert. Otherwise, they don't have the actual time and space to be able to lead, to be able to invest in their people and developing and growing them, to be able to set the vision, to communicate with clarity and regularity and all the things that we know our people want from us.